Satan is ever ready to seduce us with sensual delights.
What's up, YouTube? Thanks for dropping by. It always starts with the hands, right? Always with the hands with these things. Because I don't know what else to do with myself. And I don't want to look like I'm a stiff motherfucker. So these things get fucking wiggled and jiggled and waved around and chaos ensues on your screen. It's part of why you come, probably. Part of why you pay the price of admission for these videos, and that price is your valuable time spent watching an old fucking guy talk about records that really, you know, yeah, people care about this shit, but do they really? I don't know. Now, why am I here today? I started thinking, which was probably my first mistake, but I started thinking about my history on YouTube and videos that I've enjoyed doing, which isn't to say that I don't enjoy doing every video that I do. If I didn't want to shoot a video, I wouldn't shoot a video. You're not going to get one of those, oh, I really didn't feel like doing this today, but yeah, I guess you guys need a new video, so here you go. No, I do videos because I genuinely want to. That's why I'm still here after 6 fucking years. Fuck, that's a long time. So I started thinking about past videos that I've not just done for enjoyment, but enjoyed the end product. And that one of the ones that stands atop the pile of others. If you go back far enough, you'll find a video entitled "The Art of Sugi," an amazing artist who has provided countless covers for almost as many countless bands in the hardcore medium, in the crust medium, in just the punk rock medium. But he's not just a cover artist; he's an artist. I've got books of his artwork compiled, and he's amazing. And I don't know about the rest of you, but one of the reasons why I'm generally intrigued by a record is by the cover art. And don't let shit on display fool you. Covers and packaging in general go a long way to sell a record, especially if you've never heard what's on that record. At this point, I'm mostly buying shit that I have heard. But for those people going into a record store who see a cover that looks fucking rad, that is some impetus to buy the record. So I want to talk about one of my other favorite artists working in the punk rock medium of providing album covers and flyer art. It was no longer with us, unfortunately. I believe he passed away back in 2003 or 2004, alone, I believe in a motel room in Las Vegas, Nevada. If you haven't already put the pieces together by the title of the video, which gives it all away. This whole preamble is just pointless because of the title, right? Mad Marc Rude, a very storied artist who lived a very colorful life, knew a lot of colorful people, and unfortunately, the tail end of his life was rather tragic and really just kind of a gut-wrenching story, which is available for you to observe in a documentary format. I believe available on both YouTube and Amazon Prime. This is not a paid advertisement, but it's a good fucking documentary. And if you have any interest in the history of this phenom force in the punk rock world, he wasn't just an artist, he was a fan. He was a fan. I think he was a fan number one, and that's really probably a lot of what compelled his artwork. If you're not familiar with Mad Marc Rude, beyond all that, know that some of his work is graced on some of the most iconic album covers of all time. We're going to start with probably the most well-known one. I don't have all of them, but you know, I'll throw up some slides, kind of working in, I don't know, order of when they came out, sort of. Well, probably not really. Who knows? But the first one, the most obvious one, the one that I probably don't need to speak to at all at this point. Misfits, Wolf's Blood, Earth A.D. Now this is the Wolf's Blood cover. I have the German edition, which is in color, as opposed to the U.S. version, which is grayscale, with some purple and green. So they flipped the back and the front. That's originally on the back. And then this piece. This is the piece de resistance of the Misfits catalog, in my opinion. Earth AD right there. In color. I love this version of this painting. I like the original, I wouldn't say the original. I like the way that the US release has this picture. It's fucking great. But I love this version of this album cover. The colors, the stippling, and that was what Mad Marc Rude was probably most well known for, was the fact that the majority of his art, not all, but the majority, was all done by stippling. And stippling is a painstaking, phenomenally strenuous task for an artist. I believe this album cover took him upwards of 300 plus hours to put together. Look at that. It's so good. Mad Marc Rude. Probably the first painting of his that I became familiar with, which I would put this record on, and y'all know what this fucking record sounds like, right? It's the Misfits playing hardcore. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's savage and it rules. And if you don't know it, where the fuck have you been? This is like all people in the punk rock VC show are Misfits, Black Flag, and Dead Kennedys records. It's a wink to Mr. Brian Kidd there. But yeah, this fucking painting, piece, it's amazing, and a very good indicator as to what Mad Marc Rude was capable of as an artist. The next album I pulled is another favorite of mine, and probably the second piece that I became familiar with by Mad Marc Rude, which would be Hyrax, Hate, Fear, and Power. Second album. First album, they had Pusshead cover art. That's another one we might get to at some point. Honestly, though, as much as I love the weird, surreal nature of the Pusshead painted Hyrax debut, this one takes it for me. The colors, the expression, the faces, the lines, and the lines done by stippling again. So in stippling, you never draw an actual line. It's simply just dots. Even if you see something that looks like a line, it's dots. It's insane. I took art classes when I was younger, and when it came to stippling, I really enjoyed doing it. There's something very therapeutic and cathartic about stippling, but it is time consuming. Very, very fucking time consuming. I didn't have the patience for it. I couldn't do it. Give me lines all day, my own shit. This, however, it's another masterpiece. You've got the Hyrax logo designed by Tom G. Warrior of Celtic Frost. You've got the title of the album drawn by Mad Marc Rude. You've got the cover drawn by Mad Marc Rude. This album's phenomenal as well. Hyrax, awesome fucking crossover. Where the first album was a little bit more on the thrash metal spectrum, this is just straight up crossover. It's fast, it's savage. It's great. Anyway, I'm not trying to sell you on the music. You're gonna like it or you're not gonna like it. I love it. I think my audience probably would lean towards loving it. I would hope. Hyrax, they're fucking legendary. Still around. Look at that. Look at that shit. I gotta be in the corner. Hey. Anyway, fucking amazing record, amazing art. The third album. Well, let's look at a tape. This one's been out of the collection for a while. I actually just secured a copy of this. It's only ever been released on cassette and CD by Restless Records. I'm talking about Super Sadomasochistic Expialidocious by Elvis Hitler. Yes, it's a terrible name. It's a terrible name for an artist. Look at that fucking cover. Look at it. It's amazing. The amount of detail in here, the tongue-in-cheek. I mean, if you're taking this seriously, leave the room. You know, it's not fucking sketchy. It's just a goofy fucking name. It was unfortunately picked in the 80s. And what this is just some killer fucking rockabilly, psychobilly, grunge, somewhere in there. Punk. It's great. It's a good time. It's raucous. It's a lot of ruckus. It's fucking just put your dukes up, chug a beer. Good shit. And again, a great cover art. Honestly, that begs to be 12 by 12 inch format. Oh, look at that glare. I thought I had this fucking white balance situation settled. And then I give you that. It's terrible. I'm terrible. What are you watching for? Now, the next thing we're going to show. The next thing we're going to talk about. I stumbled across, just flipping through the sections at one of my local shops. I was going through the L's. I don't remember what I was looking for. I don't even know if I was looking for anything in particular. But I saw this cover artwork and immediately knew who did it. The man of the hour, the man in question, the man, the myth, the legend, the topical Mad Marc Rude, unmistakably Legal Weapon with interior hearts. I mean, I love this cover too. This immediately just drew my eye. I knew nothing about this band, other than that they had put out an earlier album that I had heard compared to the likes of 45 Grave and the likes like Gun Club type shit. So I picked this up, having never heard a single riff off of it, because it's only their second album, right? And look at the band. I mean, what more needs to be said about that than that photo? As far as the music goes, the first album is, having heard that now, a lot more just straight ahead LA punk. In that TSOL, the early TSOL, 45 Grave style. This veers into like glam rock territory. It's very reminiscent of, like, say 45 Grave meets like the arena rock era of Joan Jett or Transvision Vamp, and that's what you get with this Legal Weapon album. It's good. I like it. It's a good time if you play it. The first album is better. I never took the time to listen to that until after I listened to this, because I was like, whoa, it's not what I expected, folks. Not what I expected, especially given that fucking rad cover. I might have been initially a little disappointed, but upon repeated listens, I dig it, man. It's fun. It's not savage or harsh or brutal. But does everything need to be savage, harsh, and brutal? This is good stuff, regardless. And again, I honestly, probably one of his covers that pops out the most when you see it. All right, in the next record, we're going to go ahead and look at. It's another fucking good one in that same vein, a little bit, but maybe not. It's the Legal Weapon. We've got the first record by Tex and the Horseheads. First of all, again, another fucking incredible piece of artwork adorning this album cover. Stippled, and the stipples in this, I mean, I've looked at this at length. The detail in this piece is incredible. It's probably not as detailed as the Misfits cover, or that Hyrax cover. I would say this probably took him a bit longer to do than that Legal Weapon, maybe even that Elvis Hitler. And it's that cover evokes what this record sounds like. Tex and the Horseheads with their first record, 1984. There's the band. If you don't know anything about Tex and the Horseheads, they're another one of those early LA punk bands with like a little bit of that, I don't know, people call them cow punk, apparently, which is a very dumb genre classification. A lot of genre classifications are dumb. Cowpunk may be one of the dumber ones. Most well known for Texicala Jones, the frontwoman. That's her right there. She's kind of like a punk rock pinup back in her day. A lot of like photo sessions. You go online, there's just a lot of pictures of her posing in various fashion situations. But all the fashion is like, you know, like that. Kind of like Liquid Sky meets a fucking Western, like a spaghetti Western. If you haven't seen Liquid Sky, check it out. Spaghetti Westerns, check those out. And that's kind of like what you get with this music. Imagine the Cramps, or 45 Grave, or the gothy era of TSOL, filtered through Sergio Leone's soundtracks by Ennio Morricone. And you might get a feel for what this sounds like. It's really fucking great. Some of the songs on here are actually very heartfelt, especially the first track, Oh Mother. That track alone should sell you on the record, which is fucking great. And again, amazing Mad Mark Rude cover art on that piece. I've got two more. I've probably shown these at various points since I've been on YouTube, but they are records that I fucking love. They're both comps. This one is it came from Slimey Valley, released by Mystic Records. And again, the unmistakable Mad Mark Rude cover art. I believe that pieces from these two albums originally came from flyers he did for a club in LA called Scream. I could be wrong about that. This one's on a very nice red vinyl by Mystic Records, a very controversial label in the punk rock scene. This album's got Dr. No, The Grim, Ill Repute, Slaughterhouse, False Confession, Reign of Terror, The Flower Leopards, fucking great band. Rigor Mortis, not the thrash, Rigor Mortis, Circle One, Crankshaft, bunch of other bands. And it's great stuff. It's just LA punk, Mystic Records style. They put out a lot of fucking Venice shit and a lot of Nardcore shit. And this album, again, the real appeal is that fucking cover artwork. That's what sells it. Music, right there with it, sells it as well. Just killer. Love it. Love that fucking painting. And then the last piece, Let's Die. Another Mystic Records comp. Fucking awesome cover. If you were flipping through the racks and you stumbled across this, you know you'd stop to look at it. And that's the point. It's another killer compilation. False Confessions, AWOL, White Pigs, The Mess, Burning Image, The Drab, Samson's Army, The Stain, Flower Leopards, Ill Repute again, Slaughterhouse, and more. It's a little more like veered towards like death rock almost. It's still punk rock because it's still those same bands from Venice and from Oxnard putting out just snotty, almost death rocky pieces. Flower Leopards especially. They put out a single, which is one of my favorite SoCal punk singles. And it honestly is equal parts like Joy Division or Bauhaus as it is SoCal early 80s, mid 80s punk. It's fucking great. And so is this album cover. Just phenomenal. Anyway, that's what I've got. I didn't pull everything, just stuff that was within easy reach. He's got tons more. I'll probably throw in some slides of a few of his other albums, as well as some of his flyers. After you don't have to look at my face anymore. That said, I'm gonna get out of here. I got shit to do. It's Sunday night. I think I'm gonna watch this series on Shudder called Dead Wax. Sounds intriguing. I like records. I like horror. So maybe it's a match made in heaven. Anyway, peace out, YouTube. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. A little bit different from what I've been doing. No needle drops this time around, but there's more coming in that vein of that ilk. So until then, I hope you keep watching. Comment down below. I will fucking answer your comments. And subscribe if you haven't. Why not? What's it gonna hurt? How can you resist this fucking face? All right. For real, I'm out, YouTube. Take care of yourselves. Don't be shitty. Stay healthy.
You know me,